What about if they've got a nasty neighbour or a nuisance neighbour or somebody that comes into the neighbourhood and just disrupts everything? What can you do about that?
So obviously, unfortunately, I think that's becoming probably more of an issue. All of our customers, all of our tenants have a tenancy agreement.
Right.
And what that does is, on the one side, it says they should be able to enjoy quiet enjoyment of their home.
Yeah.
And as a landlord, we need to support them to make sure that happens and take action where we can. On the other side of the coin, they almost must respect their neighbours, and equally, it's not, for them to be causing a nuisance. One of the difficulties I think that we get into is that the threshold now to take really formal action against a tenant who is breaching the terms of their agreement is really high. The courts, the judiciary are very reluctant to give out orders asking people to leave their home because of antisocial behaviour. Of course, it does happen where there are really extreme examples and where we are working very closely with our policing partners and other statutory services where it's appropriate. We will take the action, but we're dependent on the courts finally giving that order. The other bit that is an issue, and I would like to assure anybody listening to this, if they're suffering with any kind of antisocial behaviour, and certainly if they're one of our customers, is please do at least report it, and we can talk you through how you can take action yourself to deal with that. Now, sometimes we can use mediation, because sometimes that can absolutely be a really useful way of addressing a problem and stopping it. In other situations, quite often we're asking our customers, our tenants, to keep records of this sort of antisocial behaviour that they've experienced, a diary, and importantly how that's making them feel. And that's the sort of evidence that carries weight if we can't solve the problem at a local level, and we do end up serving notice on somebody and taking them to court. But those thresholds are really high, and I understand the frustrations that some of our customers feel, but please do report it. We will investigate, and if we can, we will take action. I suppose I just send out that sort of cautionary note that we have to have a real burden of proof now to be able to...
And you're right, it's not just what they're doing because I don't like it, it's how it makes you feel.
Absolutely.
I can't help but driving through some of your developments, I see that some people have got beautiful gardens and really take care of them. And yet some houses, the odd one, they're not being looked after. The gardens are right mess. There's stuff that's been tipped there. Their own fly tipping, I guess. What do you do about that?
Again, it's part of an antisocial behaviour policy. If people aren't looking after their gardens and, more importantly, are using them as for fly tipping, then again, we will use the same action, which is to serve notice where we can with the evidence. Unfortunately, if you drive around a lot of our neighbourhoods, it's not Bolton at Home customers that are treating their gardens like that, nor is it Bolton at Home customers that are always fly tipping.
Because they're all mixed up.
All mixed up. People drive to areas and decide, I don't live here, I'll dump the rubbish here.
But the houses are all mixed up as well.
Indeed. So if you think back to the question about right to buy, if you go down any of our streets, you'll see a multitude of properties, and they're owned differently because of things like the windows or the front doors. Often you'll see windows and doors and replace, and you'll know they're Bolton at Home. Because obviously when someone's bought their own home, it's up to them to then maintain it.